Hey guys, it's Evan. Today is Friday, July 24th, 9:28:06 a.m. CT, and I cannot think of one person on planet Earth that is so open about what's going on in their life other than myself. But I feel like, hey, at least I'm vlogging myself and I'm doing what I feel is best for one, my own safety. My privacy's out the window, but I'm mindful of YouTube's privacy and community guidelines, but my privacy's trash. And I feel like I've never woken up and like who's on my poop list and where do I start. But I've come to realize that right now that I think I have just encountered systemically like where things are stagnant. And I've realized that, you know, I've always been forthcoming in sharing like, hey, no, it's not my job to do this. I wouldn't want it to be my job to do this because I feel like I'm way more than what those jobs entail. I'm not discrediting those people or those organizations, but just where I find we were talking about joy in church this past weekend, where I find that is with cars. I love cars. I love engines. I love race engines. I love driving. And I've learned to use my skills and combine them with not just other traits of mine, but with other realms of studies that I find soothing in the sense that I'm not only resolving my own trauma, but I'm helping prevent other people from experiencing the same trauma I've been through, or if they have similar experiences, help them through it. And I think that I have always put it just super black and white. Like I don't, and I'll never understand why systems treat individuals that build and repair and design those cars like garbage. It's just trash. Like I've experienced people that have billions of dollars and buy these Teslas and fleets. They buy them for themselves, their daughter, their wives, and those people that don't even know how to operate the vehicle get in the car because they can afford them. They are treated by members of society, the general public, law enforcement, politicians. They're treated like so much better. And people like me, people like me that build, repair, and service the vehicles, we get treated like garbage. Oops. What happened there? Oh, Buff City Soap sent me a text. Hey, I like that stuff. It smells really good. I don't know. I really like it. I got, oh crap, I forgot what I got. I don't think I got Commando. I got one of the new soaps. I forgot what I got. But it was like super dark blue and white. The new soap that I got. I think I got the Commando body oil, something like that. I have to double check. But anyways, all this stuff is good. They have like man soap, and so since that came up, when it comes to men's body wash, I really did like Dr. Dr. Squatch, but my only issue was like I feel like my body fought back because I feel like after I used it, I had a really great experience using it. I think it does what it says it does. It leaves you pretty clean, and I like that it leaves you, like, moisturized and clean because I feel like Dove moisturizes my body too much and I don't get clean, and then I feel like other like, Irish Springs and stuff, like, they dry my skin out and they clean me, but they don't moisturize me. But I feel like with that one, the Dr. Squash one, it was really, really good. And I'm saying I feel like my body fought back because after that, I used a Nivea body wash, and my body was like not having it. My body was like, no, I want to go back to the Dr. Squash stuff. And I was like, I feel you, but my bank account's not set up to where I can buy. It was good because for some time Walmart did cashback, but I guess you just gotta get those deals when Walmart has cashback on certain items, like they do Walmart Cash. And I do my best because I'm buying on a budget. I always do my best to do the Walmart Cash items. I mean, if I could buy something and get cash back, cool. That I can use on another, on whatever I want at Walmart, that's cool. So, anyways, like right now, it's 9:34 in its Central Time, and I've already had a virtual in Eastern Time. I mean, I felt back, but to be honest, it was a lot of technical issues, and like I'm at 17%, and I have to be mindful of like the electricity bill. And now I have a new device, which I'm gonna make another video. This is just like my morning vlog. Like, so I had an interaction with this guy yesterday, Rod Anderson, territory manager, and here's a QR code. I don't know if you can do that, but I got this SAM unit ultrasonic device, and I was thinking after I applied it, I'll probably talk more about it in my vlog. This is just my morning vlog, what I'm up to right now, what's on my mind. I got CNN in the background with Donald Trump, but I put it on my neck, so I put it on my lower back, and I felt good. And not only does it feel good, but for me, the sound was soothing. And so I was like, well, let me put it on my neck because my neck is what's hurting me so bad. And I didn't want to put it like directly over where it hurts because I was like, that's stupid because what if I have a bad reaction? So I just put it like on the sides and not where it hurts and like center of neck. So I put it on the sides of my neck. And I have to admit, like, I drooled last night and I never drool in my sleep. I woke up in a puddle of drool, and I was like, "Whoa, I'm supposed to keep this device. You're not supposed to keep it near water or anything like that." So I readjusted myself, and I would say like maybe I'll talk more about pros and cons when I go through it. But for my first day trying it, it was good. But like it has like a cord like this, and I drank water and it kind of spilled. So I would just be careful with it. Anyways, I yesterday I went to the library. I stopped at the baseball field. Kids were playing with their families at baseball, and it made me kind of put things back into perspective for me. Like one of my goals is to have my own baseball field, and I think my design is lost somewhere. But I can always make another one. But I just really want to focus on what I have in store for me, and I don't understand why God's putting me through this crap at all. And I really just don't care to know anymore. But I just feel like, my life is not an experiment. My life is not for people to fiddle with and I'll keep it G rated. But they're not, my life is not for other people. Like, do I believe that people should learn from my experience? Sure. It's like me with my court and my all that circumstances with my litigation and stuff. Like a lot of people started publishing my information in my court case online and making money off of it. These people in software systems make money per click and per website view. And people are making money off of my case. And that's not cool because here I am homeless, broke, without a place to live, without a job. And having this constant over my head, where am I going to live, what am I going to eat, where am I going to stay. And you know, these people are making so much money off of my case, and that's crap. And what I'm saying is there's a right way to play the game of life. And have I suffered at that cost and expense? Yes. But at the end of the day, I would rather be viewed one day in the future or even now as a man who doesn't have to be on CNN lying to the general public saying that the Epstein files are blackmail. I would rather be a man that stands up for what's right and calls it what it is and says, yes, that the president did violate women and young girls, and more than that, who knows how many men are still suffering. It's hard when men go through sexual harassment because even modern day, I have this idiot doctor who touched me and I don't care who he is. Like, my thing is, like, I don't care who you are, what entity you work for, what your reason is. Do you know God? Do you know that He's the greatest entity of all, and whatever it is you're doing to me, there's a price to pay for that. My grandma says nobody leaves this world without paying their debts. So I have to transfer out of my bed. This is how I get out. I'm at 7%, so I gotta plug this thing in. I don't know. I hope this thing doesn't fall. So these are my legs. Shift this way. You know. And sometimes I grab onto this and I really shouldn't. So I got this. I have an old MacBook. And the VA gave me this new tablet, but I wish I could use it for my homework, but I really can't. It's like limits and stuff, which is whatever. Something's better than nothing. At least I can get on my VA appointments, which is good because yesterday, what what not to do. And usually I do log roll, but I'm so tired of doing log roll, so I get up and I lift my legs up and over. Oh. And sometimes I get frustrated. Like sometimes I just want to jump in bed like a normal person, and that backfires on me. Like the other day, I was like, I just wanted to get into bed with a bowl of cereal, and it kind of spilled. And I was like, I know better. I know I'm not supposed to be getting into bed without how they show me to get into bed, but I don't know. I just think I just get antsy, and I just want to just. I want to try to do things, and I know that I can't do them, but I try to do them anyway. Like riding my penny board's gone through my mind a good 5, 10 times already. But I'm like, no, 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 no. It takes a lot of self control to not pull it out the bag and go ride it. Anyways, yesterday I went to the library after the baseball field, and then I went to Telolapa. I can't say that. Telo, whatever. I went to this Mexican restaurant down the street. They got really good food. I had the special of the day, which was chicken, marinated chicken pieces with rice and beans and flour tortillas. Yesterday it stormed, and then I came back. I had this Rod called me when I was at the Telo La Pan. I got some stuff to make choco bananas. I haven't had choco bananas since I was a kid, but I'm making myself as an adult. I'm making it the right way. So, anyways, Rod was like, "Hey, I got the console, I got the equipment request, and I'm gonna come through and do it. Rod was cool. I really liked Rod. He was okay. The only issue was when I got home, my sister was asleep, and it was just like I didn't know she was gonna be asleep, and I didn't want to disturb the peace. And then Rod was like, usually, it's not my house. I don't live here. I shouldn't even probably be saying this online, but I mean, who cares? Like, who's gonna watch this? Nobody but me. But anyways, so Rod was like a little bit disgruntled and upset because he couldn't come into the house, and I'm like, hey, I didn't know. I don't know what I don't know. I came home. I was gonna tell my sister that they were on their way to drop this stuff off, and she was asleep. I mean, my sister's asleep. They work hard so that I can have a place to live. And then he was like, well, I usually don't do this. And I'm like, well, how big is that device? He made it seem like it was such a big device and he had to set it up. She's like, you're going to need a place to set this up. Okay, it was like, this banana is bigger than the device. So, anyways, we went through it. I mean, other than the fact that he was like, whatever, like doing it outside. Other than that, I think like I had a good experience. He helped me through it. I'll do a video about that, about the device. You know, hey, I mean, keeping things positive. It was an alright interaction with him. Granted, we did it outside in the garage. But my thing is like, I gotta respect the place and respect the peace. And my thing is like, if he thinks that's super unorthodox, I mean, imagine going to a VA homeless shelter and showing a homeless veteran inside the homeless shelter how to use that device. I think the VA should send him out to do that so he can, not every client or not every person. And I think that's also part of this corporate corruption problem. Like all of these, like I started to watch the Nicole Brown movie last night. I don't know if I ever watched it. A lot of things are new to me. So like, but I started getting frustrated. Like I couldn't even watch the movie, and then I started watching more the forensic stuff. I guess that's more the science stuff is more stuff that interests me than the drama. So I started watching the scientific forensic analysis that was done, and a lot of these people were like highly determined, and I thought I was a very stubborn, highly determined man. But a lot of these forensic analysts and scientists, they're worse than me, I think, or just about the same. Like this man, he used his own blood because he was like, no cap, he was like, OJ did this. I think in his mind, he had it said that he knew what was already done. And I think when you do that, you do give up your own DNA because you're like, I think when you do your own, with your own ideas and your own research, you know, I've been, I live it every day now. I have a bunch of idiots around me all of the time. I deal with the VA and I dealt with people in the VA system that turn crap around that I brought to the table and try to use it on me. I'm like, how are you going to use this on me when I'm the one who brought up the policy and the law wasn't in compliance and then you're going to try to use it on me? Come on now. Like, I'm the one saying about my dental care and you guys try to flip it around me that I'm not eligible for dental care. How about we talk about what solutions are at the table instead of saying what I don't qualify for? I mean, so in that forensic analysis of the gloves, the man used his own blood. And I thought that his experiment was super cool. And I also think that, like I was saying, that this is part of the problem. Like, I don't know, I can only speculate that Rod goes to houses of people inside homes all the time. That's why he had discomfort, you know. And the thing is about it is like I feel like in society, especially with high levels of corruption, that's the luxurious lifestyle. And I think people view that high levels of corruption are always so luxurious, and it's not true. I said it once in the past, you know, I'm not speaking out against government security, national security, or international security. When you have a trillionaire, now broke trillions multiple times, when you have that form of security and surveillance, there's nothing that can countermeasure that. I mean, it's those systems are so intricate and innovative that nothing modern day can really keep up with those systems. And or even that level of already having those social engineering mechanisms within people. There's nothing that can keep up with that. And I think that other systems like agencies, they're so outdated. The people that work there are so complacent. They're not open minded. Their minds are super closed off. They only believe what they see on the news networks. And I think that there is only one news anchor that I can really trust, and she's super open. She's on CNN. She's always been super open, and I always think she asks the right questions. But she's always super open about like who she hears this information from, and I think that's super important. And she's one of the only people I ever see on any like news channel. I don't know her name. I'll try to grab it next time. But she's the only person that expresses like herself where this information is coming from and where she heard it from. A lot of people don't. A lot of people, I don't know if it's out of like fear for the job or what, but a lot of people they just want you to get the news exactly from them, like Fox and stuff. But she's pretty open about it, and I like that. And what I'm getting at is like I think so often the case is like especially when these investigations take place. Like that was the issue in the O.J. Simpson case. The cops were so corrupt, and they it was beyond. I think that they underplayed it. I don't think they even had the words in that time to express how messed up the crime scene was. Police officers were playing with the evidence. They were playing with freaking socks like it was a game. And I think that that was a different time, but shameful wasn't the word. I think it was, oh, the baby orca that rams the sunfish. I was thinking about that yesterday. I was thinking that humans are the same way. I think us sharing our experiences are like that orca ram. Like, it was orcas that grabbed a sunfish and the other one rammed it and it went into pieces. And a lot of people are speculating that it's for play and to eat, to make the babies and the other orcas eat better and share, and or both. You know, it's for fun and to eat. But that's how I feel about sharing experiences, human to human. Like I think with our traumas, we hold it out there, and somebody else breaks it apart, and we all take pieces of it to help each other. And I feel like, you know, when the world is in such a crappy place, look at how nature comes into play and helps us all as humans just like see how they have fun. They're having fun. The world's falling apart and they're just in the water, just having fun, loving on each other. And that's why I was in that place yesterday, you know, and even today, like understanding that I think what I'm dealing with, there's so much conformity and complacency. There's so much conformity and complacency in these federal agents investigating these high degree levels of crimes in luxurious places. And I'm sure they go walk around mansions high, you know, these beautiful places, but like that's not always the case. I heard in the movie Puncture sometimes sometimes the greatest the brightest light comes out of the darkest places. And the darkest places don't always look so Monaco, fancy yachts, and exotic cars. And that's why I'm just like, okay, well, what can I do? And I think the easiest thing I can do is just be myself. Like, I was at the library yesterday and I saw this FBI retired agent wrote a book. His name was Joe Navarez about nonverbal communication, and I'm probably making him sound smarter than what he is. And I think that for me, being myself culturally and understanding that where my parents came from, where my grandparents came from, understanding that Milwaukee in the state of Wisconsin, like it is true when they say Milwaukee is the heart of America. And I think that understanding certain people, I guess like the heritage of that place, and Jeffrey Dahmer's dad, understanding who he was and what he did, it was so highly advanced in that time. It's unreal. Like people couldn't even comprehend like just so much in that time frame. So to understand that fluoride has a major role in the human brain, I mean, unreal. And I think modern day, there I have reviewed his publishing and his research. I don't think I was able to download the whole entire studies because I think you have to make a Marquette University account. But for the most part, I went through it, and there have been so many studies since that publishing that says it's true, like beyond true. Fluoride has a huge role to play in our human body. And not just, I think so many people associate fluoride with your teeth, but it has so much of an impact on your human body and your brain function. And I do not feel that. So for me, the behavioral science unit within the FBI, it was more set up because I feel like human behavior doesn't even begin to explain it. But I feel like it was more set up because these high level degrees of violent crimes were happening. And I would say that it was for so many reasons. It wasn't just mental or behavior. I guess they tried to label it at that time and they labeled it with behavior. And that's when they began to realize how much behavior was disregarded in organizing the solving of the crimes or even the interaction. Like, how do we interact with somebody? How do we mediate with somebody? How do we even negotiate with somebody that's already at this level of threat? And for me, I'm not saying that it hasn't done amazing work, but for me, that's so like it's kind of like child's play to me because I think that behavior doesn't begin to understand the root of someone's behavior. And I think in order to do that, you don't just need to study the brain or study the mind. And as far as like electrical resistance, I've learned that as far as electrical resistance of the mind, believe it or not, science, as far as formulas and calculating that capacity, has nothing to do with it. Because I learned through my nutritionist that when you eat, you're kind of like recharging your brain. Like when you eat, it's like I'm charging my iPhone. when I eat, I'm adding more and more power to my brain. So the brain is ever evolving in that sense. And what I've also learned is that there is so much chemistry, and I'm learning that in my nutrition class. I mean, for me, I didn't want to take much math classes or data classes because that's super triggering. But honestly, like I found that nutrition is soothing in the sense that there is still a lot of math involved, and I think more technical math than math. And I know that sounds weird, but there is because I think that when you really consider macronutrients and you consider like, okay, well, this is what I consume, but how that energy, the kcals and the energy transforms, like that's just like unreal. And I feel like for me, culturally understanding where I come from, I feel like, I'm more than ahead of the game. And I'm ahead of the game in the sense that do I feel that I'm better than everybody? No. But I feel like I understand where I come from and I'm embracing where I come from. I'm embracing I was born in Houston, but my whole family was basically born in Milwaukee, and I'm embracing that cultural heritage of myself, where I come from, where my family comes from, how they were raised in the ecosystem and the social system that they were brought up in, and how I can make a way where there was no way for them, not just for myself, but for them, because even though there was no way for them, in a sense, there really was no way for me. And I am proud to say that my family comes from there. And I think that there's so much said about cities that have high crime and high violence, but there's nothing said about those cities that have created solutions for these things. I think Milwaukee is like the heart of creating solutions for all of these things. Without this research, without this psychological research, and I think a lot of that psychological chemical research on the mind has a lot to do with the history of Milwaukee and how Milwaukee was set up. And because Milwaukee wasn't the only city or the only town established by immigrant settlers, but like even in Salem, these are the same people that spread across the country and looked at land and were really confused at one point. They were like, how do what do we do with this stuff? And they had farm animals and they knew farming and land, but they didn't understand blueprints. They didn't understand construction or and other than where they were immigrants. So I saw on YouTube that Norway has always had a way of building houses, and they still do that to this day. And the way of building their houses was they would put grass on top of the roofs. And I thought that that's unique because it reminded me of the heritage that Milwaukee has. If you look at the roofs, they kind of slanted in that same design. And I believe even Miller Brewery puts grass on top of the brewery and or some kind of green on top of the brewery that grows, and the rain falls and it grows and it helps. It helps them with their water quality and stuff. And I just think like about that history and the architecture, like without these villagers and settlers learning to draw blueprints and layouts and measure and the masonry and stuff, there would be no courthouses. Like, America wouldn't have been built from the ground up. And I'm learning to embrace that part of myself and not be ashamed of it because of the power that's in play. I think what makes a person powerful is when they're unashamed to truly accept and understand who and where they come from. And my grandfather was very good at teaching me that. Let's see who texts me. Rate your Uber support experience. Uber Eats texted me. I had a bad experience with OMG Heroes, and the food came like seeping. Yes, this issue. I don't know why they keep doing this. Orders. Starting this stuff. You ticket. Hi, Evan. We are concerned about what you've shared and want to gain a better understanding of what happened. Do you mind sharing more details with us? Yes, kindly. I would like to like a refund placed for this order. I submitted my food order issue in a timely manner inside of the 48-hour time frame, and I do not understand why there is such difficulty in processing my request and taking my concerns seriously. I spoke with an Anna over the phone yesterday, and she expressed to me that she was escalating my issue to the appropriate department and transferring me, and the call dropped. You know, I don't. I'm a good guy. I mean, I come in peace. I was very lazy about burning my shit this morning. So it's kind of just how my brain is. My brain is overwhelmed, and I feel like it has every reason to be overwhelmed. And I feel like I have a week and a half left of school, and I'm so far behind. I probably dropped like 4 weeks. And to be honest, because I had this stupid interaction with Joe from VAOIG, I'm just tired. I'm tired of dealing with stupidity. Like, sometimes I'll put on my TV in the middle of the night. It helps me relax. Last night I relaxed really good with the device. And I woke up and it was like talking about JD Vance saying that the Epstein files were blackmail. And I'm like, God, praying to God, get these idiots out of the White House, please. Get them out of the White House. And the president, it says Trump won massive attack on Iran, developing story. And they're showing his face in front of a banner that says Rape Protection Pledge. And I don't think that he's an idiot. I think that he's an idiot. But wait a minute. I know he's an idiot. And my thing is, I say that respectfully. He has said worse. He has said way worse than Evan Mendes has ever said on planet Earth. And he has made degrading racist remarks against people. He's made racist remarks against Mom Donnie. And for Mom Donnie to sit there and shake his hand God be with him. But if somebody said those awful, disgusting things about me, I would not be shaking their hands. And I feel like he can say crap. He can say he speak out. I feel like that's the greatest sign of being an idiot. And my thing is, he is violating international law and humanitarian laws, and he's not being transparent to the American public, to America, about how severe this is. And my thing is like, you don't pee off people in third world countries and knock off their world leaders and expect them not to retaliate. People retaliate in America for less. And people don't need a reason. Recently, I heard about 16 children that were locked in like less than, I don't know how many. It was like less than 12 by 12. It was, I mean, I feel like it was small space. 16 kids, and they were in such poor conditions, and these were American people. These were American citizens, American people committing this degree of heinous crime against children. And it's like people don't need a reason, and you're violating global peace and international laws. I don't know why FIFA gave him this phony peace, world peace thing, because he's being like, you're just hyping him up to be more destructive. And I think that they should take it away from him. I think they gave it to him, and I think that that was kind of them to consider him and give it to him. But I think they should strip him of it. I think FIFA should strip him of that prize, of that peace prize or whatever. Because guess what? Putin got black belts, multiple black belts. But at the end of it all, oh God, someone's ringing the doorbell, disrupting the peace. Anyways, that was missionaries. I probably shouldn't have got up that way, but I hit my knee. I need to be careful. Ugh. See, it's things like that that really mess me up. I hit my left foot the other day. I just need to be careful. Anyways, it was some missionaries. They're like, we see your sign, we're not soliciting. We see your sign of soliciting, we're not soliciting. And technically, there's a law that protects them from that, but I really did hit my knee, my right knee. And it's tough for me because I can't really feel. I don't have good sense of like feeling from my waist down. So like here, like I think I can find like somewhat get a grasp. Like, oh, I feel like the banana's near, and I have that sensation. But like with my legs, I feel like I can't really gauge like if something's around my legs. Like even when I get bit by mosquitoes, I got bit by a wasp. I love nature, so I was like, it was just an accident. He didn't mean it. But when I've been stung by a wasp, I got stung by a wasp right here and on my leg, and I know when it's well wasp because it's like super fast. But it's accidents. Like I've seen the wasps upset with me and chase me. Like I see when they're angry, but this is accidents. This is not. They don't mean it. I think they're just trying to get away from me or get away from the grass, like where I'm at. So they like try to take off and they just like sting me on the way out. Anyways, Putin was given a black belt, and Putin was stripped of his black belt for using it for wrong. So I think when people are given these types of awards, I think they should be taken away when they're not doing the right thing. Anyways, there goes my spiel about yesterday. Today, well, I'm here live on YouTube. I had my accessibility appointment. I had technical issues with that. I guess I'm just saying in so many words, like, I don't know where to start. Like, where do I start? I don't know. I mean, it's already 10 o'clock. I'm just now eating a banana, which I got these from the Teller Pond. But, anyways, I think JD Vance is an idiot too, respectfully. Blackmail, I could open up my phone or whatever and give you the definition, even the legal definition of blackmailing, but I think that you're a huge idiot to say that all of those people that were sexually violated by the president himself and all his friends is a form of blackmail. I think you're a sicko, and I think God knows you. To blackmail somebody, you have to get something, and there has to be something at stake. What are you going to say that these, not just women, but what are you going to say that these people that were sexually violated as kids, as teeny boppers, as teenagers, what was at stake for them? Because they lost their sense of security, they lost their sexual innocence, they lost, they have a vulnerability for the rest of their lives to be intimate with anybody because of this sick weirdo and his friends. So that's not blackmail. Epstein didn't use this to blackmail anyone. Are you freaking kidding me? What about anything in that house on that island says blackmail? And for whatever his name was, I don't know his name, but he's always someone out there talking. Now everybody's a fanboy of JD all of a sudden. Come on now, be real, be true to yourself. And I see like in these types of situations where people switch up. I can say that when I worked for Tesla, I was never an Elon fanboy, and even now, I'm still not an Elon fanboy. At least I've always been true to myself. And that's the problem. I didn't bend over to conform for anyone or to anyone's. Like, this is all unnecessary. It says a shootout brings busy Florida interstate to a standstill. Look at all these SWAT cars and stuff. It took one granny in Houston, Texas to shut down the freeway. One grandma. It was one old lady. It was her, a porch chair, a patio chair, and her pistola. And she got there in the middle of I-45 and she said, "Not today." She said, "Get behind me, Satan, because you're not doing this to me today." She went out there on the freeway and she put out the chair and she sat in there and she had a pistol and she sat there. And it take all these SWAT tank cars. Come on, man. They said, "Phew, this is Texas." It took all those SWAT tank cars in Florida. Well, these loser idiots, I don't even know. Like, when I saw JD Vance on The View, I didn't even know what to make of it. I'm like, you and Donald Trump talk so much trash and garbage about The View all of the time. And now, and Donald Trump was on The View a couple times, I think. And now he's promoting his book. And I'm like, bro, be real. Well, these missionaries, they came and rang the doorbell and the garage door was open. I'm not making accusations of who did it. Somebody left the garage door open. I let my sister know. She's like sorry, and but still, I just gotta be careful nowadays. I closed the garage door and I came back here and talked to everybody who's not watching. It's been doing this for an hour, and it's hard for me. I love this stuff. I drank the pineapple one. They don't have my favorite flavor. My favorite flavor is the horchata one. That one tastes real good. This is better than Gatorade. This is way better than the Gatorade. Oh, it says use under medical supervision. I don't know. I really like this stuff. I think it's way better than Gatorade. I mean, Gatorade's most exotic flavor is like the pepino and limon, but this is way better. They have grapefruit punch, kiwi. I can't stand this president. I can't wait for the day that God gets him out the White House. It just makes me sad. I'm like, how stupid. And it's like I was saying the other day, I feel like if Dr. King were to see us now and see these people supporting, not that it would be new to him, I think he wouldn't be surprised, but I think he'd be more surprised that he created and made a way for society and for America to get ahead. I mean, Kanye says in one of his songs, "I even made a way for them to get ahead." And that's what Dr. King did. He made a way for all of us, even Donald Trump, to get ahead. And I think what would be a surprise to Dr. King is a society in America that did for a good period of time, even after his death, make a way ahead for themselves and for others. And now this America will only move ahead. They will only move ahead if they're abiding by one man's greed. I'm gonna ask him. It's just to ask him if he left the garage door open. I don't want to disturb him. Ask him. Okay. Oh my gosh, my sister's so demanding. Hey Richie, did you leave the garage open? Okay. I closed it. Or my sister puts me in conflict. I told her I didn't want to disturb him, but oh well, I disturbed him, I guess. And that went pretty smooth. Mistakes happen, things happen. But anyways, like I pray to God. I say, God, please, like, I mean, I pray for the president. One of my brothers at church said we have to, and and the thing about it is like there was this housekeeper at the Grand, and she said, Evan, sometimes there's just so much evil in this world that even God Himself can't take it. That's why He needs us. He needs us to help Him, you know. And I think that's so true. I never heard anybody put it to me that way, but I think it is true. Like sometimes there's so much evil to the point where God Himself, it hurts Him. Of course, it hurts Him. He doesn't want to see us destroy each other. He doesn't want to see us tear the world apart, a world that He so beautifully made. And I feel like I I feel so isolated. I know I'm not alone. I know that it's not about the few people that see it. You know, sometimes the very few, they say the few outnumber the mass because it only takes a couple people to do the right thing. It says it only takes one to believe and the rest will follow. And I just I don't agree with this. I don't agree, and I don't even think CNN should give JD Vance for the president the time of day. He himself has talked trash about that man that died, you know, about all these media outlets. He's talked trash about him, so don't run him. Don't run the story. CNN can run a story on a TikToker and get more views. There have been days where I get more views on one video than live videos views on a CNN Live or Fox Live. One of my views at in one time in less than a short period of time gets over 4,000 views, and I can get on YouTube and it says like 1,000 people watching. I mean, that's what I'm saying. There's so many great TikTokers, content influencers, podcasters. There's so many people that if CNN or ABC News, if these other outlets would just stop running his story, I mean, stop running him, stop talking about him. That's what I didn't like about Kamala. I was hoping and praying to God, and I remember telling the TV, don't say his name. And she sure enough did. I think that was the biggest mistake she did was just say his name out loud. That's what he wants. That's what the devil wants. You know, the devil wants you to name him. He wants you to claim him. He wants to claim stake and authority over your soul. And I I don't like that she said his name. I don't know why she felt the need to say his name. I don't know why, but she said his name. And I think when she mentioned him, it just gave everybody like what they needed to say the things that they said about her. And I know that that doesn't make sense in a political or legal way, but it makes sense to petty fucking people. You know, that's just what petty people do. That's just what dumb people do. They play tit for tat. And I think that if she would have just stuck to everything she planned on doing and just kept his name out of the entire situation, I think that it would have been a better turn because that's how these news outlets and media outlets do. They take that one clip of you mentioning his name and play it over and over and over again. And he's nothing but a huge man child. Everything needs to be done to remove him. And I mean, how dumb do you look? You over here with what's his name, the mind reader, and the mind reader is like, "Oh, I can read your mind," and everybody's ducking down in fear for their lives. And the only people that had security was him, and his wife. Come on, you just duped the entire everybody. Everybody there has a false sense of security. I'm telling you, like I'm tired of this crap. Like, has anything like that ever happened at Tesla? No. And it probably never will. Because, like I just said very early on in this live, I mean, that corporation has more money to spend and spin the world over and over and over again. And it's different. We are, I was in ecosystems when and where I talked to somebody with the VA this morning, and they're sitting here saying some so and so didn't do their job, you know. And the thing about it is, when you're in those archaic, old school systems of hostility, and you're not in an environment where you truly understand, you know, diversity and adversity and microaggressions and technology in and of itself, you, there's no there's no way to thrive. There's no way to isn't oh, there's no efficiency in getting anything done. And that has been real lifetime round the clock for years now. That's why that corporation and those corporations are unstoppable because you have one government that and one person. When Biden was here, there was innovation and creativity and imagination that was taking place. And now imagination can is hindered, it's stalled. Now creativity is put to a halt. It's just, you know, I actually served my country overseas and saw what Kim Jong Un did to those people. That is not America. And this guy needs to wake up. And if he loves it so much over there, then he can go to Korea himself and go live next door neighbors with Kim Jong Un himself. But anyways, I just don't even know where to start. And sometimes in some days I just, Whoopi always says at the end of the view, "You're not alone. We are not alone." And I, it does help me, like, I'm not alone. But also I feel like, well, like, what do I do? Like, what can I do? Because I feel like everything I do, I just can't get right. You know, with these women, my life is just, I feel like police involved shooting in Madison, Wisconsin. Uh-oh. Hey, Madison is one of those places where I don't think this is real often a thing. I mean, it doesn't justify it, but at least it's police, like actual police and not phony ICE agents. Anyways, I don't know where to start. I'm in this bed. I'm working on the refunds. I need to really think about, like, what is a need for the yard and not a want, because I want lots of things for the yard in my projects, but I really need to, like, what does the yard need? And I am so over this whole mosquito crap. The mosquitoes are super bad. Last night I killed a baby one in my room, and the city is Houston in Texas. They don't care. So I still haven't received my partial headphones refund. It was a partial refund for the headphones. Home Depot, I received that gift card. I need to think about what's a need for the yard. And then my Walmart, I got that. I'm still working on my Uber one. So, and then I had my college to do list, high school transcripts for whatever reason. They have my high school transcripts or whatever. Oh, these are some of the softwares that my college accommodations: Apple Notes, dictation, speech, Shoti, Otter AI, keyboard controls, mouse controls, assistive technology evaluation. I need to really get on my homework. It's just hard for me, man. Like, I don't get this crap. It's like, where do I start? I have, my health is worsening. It's not getting any better. I mean, as of yesterday, now that helps, but I'm just tired. Like, I just want to be left the F alone. Like, leave me the F alone. My passport still hasn't come in. Who knows when my passport is? And they have my birth certificate. So I can't even request for a birth certificate because they're just going to ask me to send in my birth certificate that, what do you call it, has, the passport office has. And I paid all this money to have it fast, and it's been months. So I paid all this money to get it expedited. Freaking Uber Eats came in faster than the passport through a storm. Through a freaking hurricane, Uber Eats came faster than the damn passport. Makes no sense. That's what I'm saying. There's all these freaking outbreaks, and Texas doesn't care. They could care less. You want to talk about blackmail? How about the blackmail that the president's doing on the American people and on politicians and governors and congressmen, telling them that they have to fess up and give up the data and information of its residents? Like, since when? Never. Talk about privacy violation. Talk about blackmailing people. And there's been measles. Oh, speaking of which, I need to call for my results. All right, well, peace out.